Hey everyone, welcome to Whispers of Turkish Stars. All the juicy details are coming up in today's video. Before we begin, hit subscribe and share this with a friend who lives for on-set drama. Thank you for being here. Whispers from a lively set, late-night chats after cut, and those slippery rumors that seem to materialize the second a camera stops rolling. Over the last few days, social media has been buzzing with talk of rising friction between beloved actress Hazal Subaşı and leading man Erkan Meriç. The spark? A provocative claim spreading through back-channel gossip that Hazal supposedly told someone close to the woman believed to be in Erkan's life, "He belongs with me now." That sentence became the match that lit an already dry field. The night everything turned into a headline was a premiere where both appeared radiant and relaxed. Observers noted how attuned they seemed to each other. When one leaned in, the other followed. When one laughed, the other laughed a beat longer. Their chemistry, a trait audiences admired when they first shared the screen years ago, appeared to bloom again in front of the flashbulbs. Behind the velvet ropes, insiders claim Hazal's circle heard her speak with an unguarded warmth about her connection with Erkan, as if they weren't merely partners in a script but partners in something they could not neatly label. One quote, retold countless times, had her saying that the electricity between them was more than being colleagues under bright lamps. It didn't take long for those murmurs to float into comment sections. People flocked to Hazal's latest posts with sharply divided messages. Some urged caution, tread carefully. Others were blunt, don't disrupt someone's life. And then there were those suspicious questions, where does all this boldness come from? While none of this could be verified, the tone was unmistakable, protective of boundaries and hyper-aware that public perception can mutate overnight. Erkan's team kept quiet, which only poured fuel on the fire. He was gracious and cheerful at the premiere, offering kind words to photographers and greeting fans with ease. Rather than calming things down, his warmth opened a new lane for speculation. Friends near him insisted it had been magnified into something it wasn't. To them, work was work, promo was promo, and the rest was fan fantasy. But in the world of gossip, a simple smile can become a confession when repeated enough times. On the other side, those close to Hazal suggested that the most controversial sentence wasn't hers at all. Depending on who you ask, the line either never left her lips, or it was ripped from context and reshaped into something bolder. Still, after the pair were spotted in the same late-night haunts, restaurants known for their tucked-away corners, the tabloid machine refused to stand down. The more silent the official channels were, the more imaginative the unofficial ones became. What everyone wants to know now is straightforward. Will the woman said to be tied to Erkan break her silence and draw a line in the sand? How will Erkan address a situation that keeps snowballing every time he stays quiet? Online, fan pages, magazine shows, and gossip forums have split into two camps. One side insists the entire story is an exaggerated misunderstanding, a mirage born from longing to see their old on-screen romance alive again. The other side is tracking every glance and caption, convinced that something deeper has resurfaced. If that were all, the dust might have settled. But the speculation got hotter when a new claim surfaced, that Hazal, speaking to trusted friends after the premiere, called Erkan the most captivating man to cross her path. Whether that exact wording is real or simply polished by repetition, the spirit of what people believe she said has grabbed the narrative by its collar. And later that night, the two supposedly slipped away for a long talk, laughter echoing from a corner, the kind of laughter that says we know something the world does not. It would have been innocent any other week. This week, it was taken as proof. As for the woman rumored to be in Erkan's life, her quiet has remained unbroken. Still, whispers suggest she confided to mutual friends that something felt off about the situation, then chose not to speak to the media to avoid inflaming it. Ironically, that decision, meant to cool the room, triggered new debates. Support pages popped up overnight, championing her dignity and advocating for boundaries. "We stand with her" became a refrain across fan accounts, and the environment began to feel less like real life and more like a scripted primetime drama. Erkan's silence quickly turned into the central storyline. No press release, no denial, no clever wink to cut the tension. Some tabloids decided that his quiet wasn't neutrality at all. They framed it as quiet agreement, arguing that silence can read like confirmation under bright lights. He was seen alone more than usual, keeping his head down, wavering between polite smiles and tight-lipped retreats whenever microphones appeared. That restraint, whether strategic or instinctive, didn't protect him from scrutiny. If anything, it gave the public a blank slate onto which they could project their own conclusions. Amid the swirl, Hazal shared a photo that landed like a small earthquake. Nothing scandalous on its face, a coffee cup in soft light, a page from a script, and a blurred male silhouette far in the background. But her caption, "Every fresh start opens another door," set timelines ablaze. Thousands of comments poured in, some congratulating what they saw as courage, others reminding her that not every door leads someplace gentle. Many claimed, with that strange internet certainty, that the silhouette was Erkan. No one knows. All anyone knows is how they felt looking at it. Now the question stands like a neon sign: is this just a misunderstanding inflated by collective nostalgia and clever camera angles, or are there genuine feelings emerging from long-buried chemistry? How long can Erkan stay quiet when each hour without a statement births a new theory? And will the woman believed to be in his life make a move that reframes the story in one breath? Editors are waiting with headlines at the ready. Every small action is primed to become the next outsized chapter. The pace didn't slow. Sources say that Hazal and Erkan didn't leave the spark at the premiere. The closeness allegedly continued away from the set, quiet lunches, coincidental gym visits, a shared driver here and there. Friends of Hazal describe her as genuinely excited, saying privately, with an almost giddy certainty, that he is with her now, that what they share is too strong to pretend otherwise. Whether those words are hers or an echo of someone else's interpretation, they've gone viral. Fans who adore Hazal for her candor are cheering, arguing that love deserves audacity. Others, fiercely protective of boundaries, surged to defend the woman thought to be connected to Erkan, reminding everyone not to turn romantic arcs into battlegrounds. Meanwhile, the woman at the center of that defense remains unquoted. People close to her repeat the same line: she's watching, not acting, and she refuses to be used as a lever for clicks. That state of quiet, paradoxically, painted her as both poised and volcanic, still on the surface, but potentially moments from rupture. Every unposted photo, every unsent caption becomes part of the mythology around her restraint. Tabloid accounts and influencer pages dissect every angle of this brand-new old romance like it's a cliffhanger episode. They pull meaning from the direction of Erkan's gaze and treat wardrobe choices as secret messages. A ring on the wrong hand becomes a code, a jacket worn twice becomes a proclamation. On set, insiders insist that professionalism still rules and that scenes are being shot with discipline. Off-set, there are more stories than verifiable moments. Erkan has dodged questions with the agility of someone who has learned to move through storms. On red carpets, he fields project queries but gently declines the personal ones, cutting off speculation with a nod and a smile that gives away nothing. Some sources describe his silence as a shield, a way to keep his private life from becoming a public square. Yet the calm demeanor that once made him feel steady now feeds doubt because his composure refuses to tell a story people crave. Then came another photo, this time on a quiet afternoon. A table, 2 cups, and the soft shadow of a man, barely there, like a memory caught in the glass. The caption read as if it understood the pain embedded in timing. Sometimes the right person shows up at the wrong moment. If the first post caused a stir, this one caused a shuffle, supporters adjusting positions, critics adjusting volume. The line felt tender and inarguably pointed. Was it a confession, a lament, or a prelude? As fans debated, some of the oldest chapters of Hazal and Erkan's story re-entered the room. How they met, how they made viewers believe in a screen romance that felt like more, and how life took them down different paths after the cameras stopped. People remember that chemistry can linger like a song you can't stop humming. They also remember that nostalgia can trick you into thinking the past is knocking at your door when it's really just a breeze in the hall. In the days since, nothing definitive has been stated, and everything meaningful has been inferred. Hazal's friends insist she is being misunderstood, that careless whispers are making her braver lines sound like threats when they were meant as declarations of feeling. Erkan's friends maintain he isn't playing a game. They say he's protecting something sacred, whether that is a relationship, his peace, or the boundary between his heart and our gaze. And those who stand with the woman thought to be part of his life argue that dignity, not volume, is the strongest answer to a storm. Where does this leave the story tonight? Balanced on a fragile edge. One public sentence, just one, could flip the narrative. If Hazal were to say, clearly, that the quotes attributed to her were not hers, many would exhale. If she were to confirm them, many would brace. If Erkan were to step forward and draw a line, either toward or away, the guessing game would evaporate, leaving behind either a tender beginning or a painful ending. If the woman who has remained silent were to speak, she would likely be given the final word by a public that sees grace in restraint. Until then, everyone will keep reading tea leaves. People will zoom into reflections in cafe windows, slow down red carpet clips to study micro-expressions, and compare timestamps to align invisible timelines. They'll recall the old interviews where he praised her instincts, and the old behind-the-scenes clips where she laughed a little too freely in his presence. They'll remember the reasons they believed in them and the reasons they told themselves not to. Whatever the truth is, miscommunication or mutual confession, the next day's promise turning points. If this is a misunderstanding, the moment of clarity will feel like waking from an anxious dream. If it is real, the moment of acceptance will sound like a door clicking gently open, just as Hazal's caption suggested. And if it is neither, but something in between in the messy middle where admiration, timing, and fear tangle, the story may keep looping until one of them chooses an ending. We will be watching. We will be listening. And we promise to bring you updates the second the silence breaks, whether in a carefully written note, an offhand remark caught by a microphone, or a single photo that says more than a press conference ever could. Thank you for watching Whispers of Turkish Stars. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the most talked about pair of the moment, make sure you're subscribed, share this video with a friend who loves a slow burn scandal, and join us next time as we follow every look, every like, and every line between Hazal Subaşı and Erkan Meriç. Goodbye for now, and keep your notifications on, because with these two, the next chapter could drop at any minute.